Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is War 3 of Season 41, and today we're up against TCN, so it's a bit of an exciting one. I'm bringing in Claire, Valk and Hulkling, and this is a bit of a scrappy war, as you're about to see. So we're going up path 3, we're taking this Ant-Man and the IDoom and then that thing. And starting off with this Venom. This is a fairly straightforward fight for Hulkling. The only thing you got to worry about is the tactic, and also Venom has a lot of attack with all of his buffs. So ideally you don't want to get caught. I've got full cosmic power boosts on for the later fights, but yeah, my plan is just to get to SP2, throw it, loop specials. So going into this fight now, I'm not going to be parrying him because I don't want Flourish to get out of control. And pretty much straight away, as I dash back, it feels like he stutters a bit and he catches me with a full 5-hit combo. And I'm just glad it didn't bleed me in the end because that could have been very bad. I'm a little bit cautious about being trapped in the corner. So here, after I bait this special, I go in and I delay and then throw my SP2, making him block, giving me the last pierce, letting me go unblockable, and then we can loot these SP2s and close out a messy first fight. So for this next fight, I was originally assigned Galen, who isn't the best for future Ant-Man, but with the tactic he can kind of take this node. Ant-Man caps harvest at 10% and then heals a percentage of it back based on the SIG, so it would have been a long, slow fight, and in the end we decided to go with a bit more of a nuke in Hulkling. And we figured just, get a pierce up. That means he can't glance you. That means he won't do his annoying stun on the end of your combos. I've got full cosmic power boosts. It'll be fine. That's the kind of the plan going into this. So we load up the fight, go in, dash back, tap him on block, and his armor buffs start going crazy. I am a little bit panicking right now because I know that there's a massive chance to glance based on each armor up. So I have no way to get my pierce right now. I am panicking immediately. This fight has started going awful. And right now you can kind of see me figuring out what I need to do. I know I can't just keep tapping him on block. I know I can't just keep on hitting him. And at this very moment, you can see the gears in my head working and figuring out that his armor buffs are on timers. So what I need to do is completely wait them out and let him go back to 0. Then there'll be no chance for me to glance, and then I can get a pierce up and somehow try and salvage this fight. So I need to dash back to the corner. Luckily Buffet is off cooldown. You see me just pause it just to double check the glancing percentage. Buffet's off cooldown, so he's not going to be unblockable. I can just bait heavies in the corner and try not to get hit. Buffet would trigger if I get hit, so I'm going to really try and dex these heavies. Luckily it's quite fast, so when I do end up dexing them, as I am here, it's hopefully not going to catch me. So he's got 1 armor up left now, and I just need him to back off, and he caps me with a heavy, double hits me. I'm in the corner. I need to throw this to reset myself and try again. He's got 1 armor up. I go for it. I really shouldn't have. I should have just let it go. My pierce gets nullified, and we're back to him having 4 armors and a massive chance to glance my attacks. So resetting and trying to let these fall out. And I'm just going to pause it here because I get incredibly lucky. So I've done a fair few unideal matchups in my time trying to get videos for YouTube. One of them is Kate Bishop versus Mr. Sinister 6.2. I've been stuck in the corner in that fight trying to, build power on my L2. And what I've noticed is the AI very, very rarely dashes back and holds block when you're in the corner. They get very aggressive, they spam heavies, they dash back and they dash right back in straight away. I mean, I knew this at this point. I knew that I wasn't going to have a great chance of getting out the corner, but I needed to try it because that was all I could do. If I hit him without Pierce, he could get an armor and he could start glance again. So I had to find my window. I had to wait for him to dash back and hold block and very quickly dash in and hope that he wasn't dashing. So when he throws this heavy here, he doesn't do it. He doesn't do it this time either. Then he dashes back, holds block, and he does that little stutter. He does a tiny little stutter and carries on holding block. And I managed to get some pierces up. He glances, but it doesn't matter. His armor's gone. Now he's not going to get those armors back. I just need to make sure that I keep up my pierce buffs this entire match, or it could go right back to how it was at the start. He there just fakes me out on an L2, catches me with a couple of mediums. I'm really lucky he didn't go to SB2 there because I'm okay at dexing it, but not very good. I practice SB1 a lot. And again here, he's healing back a load of my damage. Trying to reset, trying to get to a nice SB2 loop. But he's pretty much back at full health. So I know that I need to do this in one nuke. I can't, take my time with this one. My unblockable's up, I go for the L2, it got nullified so I've got an extra duration one, that's nice. I pull out an intercept here, I go for the L2, I've got him at SB2, so if he throws it I'm probably dead, although Indestructible might save me. I go for my L2 loops, he's at SB3, I throw one more, even if that had hit block it would have been fine. Hulkling does enough damage through block, and somehow I managed to get out of this fight. This might be the most crazy back and forward matchup I've ever had in MCSE. I was shaking at the end of it. I was so nervous. Again, this is my first season at SSX. I really don't want to die, especially not in as big a war as against someone like TCN. Yeah, that was a very stressful matchup. And I don't even think it's that bad. I think in general it could have gone a lot better. Literally all I needed to do was at the start let that one armor up buff fall off, because then there's no chance for me to glance. I can get my pierce up. If I trigger buff A first, then my pierce can't get nullified. Yeah, I played it wrong, but at the end of the day, it's come out with a pretty insane fight, and we got the solo, so that's all that matters. My original plan was just to do this run. All my fights were open at this point, so my plan was to do it all in one go, but I had to go and relax for a little bit. I had to go and compose myself. But yeah, I'm glad I got all of the bonuses. So this next fight is Claire versus Nimrod on this bleed/glancing node. It's pretty straightforward. Because you're bringing Claire, there's not too much to worry about. You take control by getting rid of his buffs. There's a chance that you'll nullify or glance, but as long as you keep an eye on it, it shouldn't be too bad. Make sure that the armor ups do actually get nullified. Try and control Mystic Dispersion, and I guess the main thing is just don't accidentally switch modes. That was the one thing that I was just stressing about. Yeah, that would be pretty bad if you accidentally changed modes and he had some armor ups. Those bleeds are no joke. So in terms of which special I'm using, I go safe in this fight, especially after the one that I just had, and I pretty much just spam SB2. If I did this fight again, I'd probably just heavy, make sure that I nullify all of his armor ups, and then go for a bigger SB3 while in the power drain mode, which is the orange one. Because if he's in the blue mode, he'll put a cowardice on you, and that'll reduce your special damage. It's not the quickest fight, but it's extremely safe. I'm also not going to be pushing him to L2. It's a fairly easy one to dex, but I'm pretty sure it would just delete me if it hit me. So I'm not risking a death here at all. So I am weaving in a couple of heavy attacks here and there. There's lots of buffs to get you back to your SP2 pretty quickly in this fight. The main thing, like I said, is just making sure that you are actually nullifying those armor buffs, and once you've done that, you're pretty safe. There's a lot of willpower healing. There's healing from your L2, so even if you do mess up and get caught, it's not too bad. So I think here, I'm sort of thinking about going for the L3. It's I don't know if it would completely finish him off at this point, but because I'm just going to be waiting for him to get to the orange phase, I managed to take him down a little more with my basic attacks. And here he's not throwing special, so I just want to nullify this, get back up to 20 charges, and throw the L3. And be on guard in case it doesn't finish, but at this point it's looking like it probably will. So for this next fight, IDoom on this glancing and regen node with Hulkling, I'm just going to be nuking him down, hopefully a little bit more successfully than last time. The main thing you've got to watch out for is the glancing. Even when the fight is under control, you have a 30% chance to glance. So if you are on your 5th pierce and that glances, then your unblockable buff can just fail. So I don't want to be throwing my L2 into his block, or finishing my combo into his block and immediately throwing L2 if I can avoid it. You want to make sure that your unblockable buff actually triggers and then throw L2. Hulkling should be able to deal with all of the regen. You've got enough damage. And apart from that, I'm going to be pushing him to L2 because I find it easier to dex. Although in this fight, because I just want to be safe, I'm just going to be taking it on block anyway. The last thing is dealing with strike counter fury. I'm going to be parrying a lot. I'm going to be hitting into his block a lot because I don't want to waste my charges. I want to get straight to L2 without giving him any of the block penetration charges if possible. So going into this fight, again, parrying a lot. I build power just by doing that. Don't give him any. Hitting into his block. See a fair bit is glancing. So again, it's just about making sure that unblockable triggers. So I've got one left and a couple hits. There we go. It triggers. So I try and dex and throw my L2 there, but inputs felt a little off, so I don't get the right timing. I could have thrown my L2 there, but I just wanted to be safe. And here we go, backing off again. I'm a little bit high power to safely make sure that my unblockable triggers, so I just throw it into block. I know that I'll heal back anything if, I do end up eating a combo. And there, I guess I was just a little bit late on it. My L2 doesn't connect, it hits him in block, and then my combo after is just not enough to take him down. But I'm not too worried about this fight. Like, I've done this much damage in 1 minute. I'm going to be able to overpower the regen at some point. And yeah, we're just waiting for him to get a little bit low. I don't go for the unblockable here. I know that this L2 is going to finish, and it does. Not the cleanest, but still a 1 minute fight. All good. So next up we have this Valkyrie versus Thing fight. And there's 3 main things to watch out for in this fight, I would say. Firstly, the falter. You can shrug it off, which is why I'm going to go for a bulwark in this fight, but I don't want to go for too many, just in case I trigger Thing's protection. Basically, just watching for when those buffs expire. If it expires, then he's going to set a timer, and after that timer, you get falter. Then watching to see if I shrug it off or not. Another thing is I don't want to be hitting Thing at 15 rock stacks in this fight. Valkyrie can obviously ignore the unstoppable, but he will get an unstoppable buff. He'll have that buff expire, and then the miss timer will start as well. The last thing is power efficiency. So Thing throwing a lot of specials can really pin you in the corner, so you've really got to worry about space in this fight. it means that I'm going to be hitting into block a little bit more than usual in one of these sorts of fights where I can hit him normally, just to back him up without giving him too much power. So we'll go into this fight and see how it plays out. So starting off with hitting him into block, trying to push him back without giving him too much power. And then here I've set myself up to reverse combo just after going over 10. I go back down and then I stop at 15 rock stacks because I don't want him to trigger the unstoppable. Go back in, revert my combo so I'm going back up again. I see his vigilance is just about to expire, so I know the time is coming. After he throws his special, I time that one medium tap just in time for the falter to come in afterwards. So I'm backed up in the corner here, so I don't want to waste time trying to get him to block. I'm going to throw a 3 or 4 hit combo, hesitate, throw my L2, which forces him to block. He then stutters, and when I dash in to hit his block, catches me. That's fine, he doesn't punish me too much here. Again, worried about space, so I'm just going to try and push him back a bit. He goes passive, which is very kind of him, and he's throwing a couple heavies, that's all fine. Falter time is coming in, so I've got my eye on that. We shrug it off here, which is great. Means I can hit his block and push him back even more. So I just want to bait out this L2 so that my L2 won't push him red. And then I think I can close out the fight. So again, doing 3 hits, pausing, throwing it into his block, making sure this time he's actually going to be holding block, and this combo takes him just low enough where after I bait out the special, I can finish out the fight with just a normal 5-hit combo. If that hadn't killed, I would have hesitated and thrown my L1, which would have finished out the fight. So that is the end of my war. A fairly scrappy one, I guess you could say. And at the time of recording this, we're actually up 4-2 against TCN. So fingers crossed we can close it out and win this one. They're ahead on time, so we've got one more death wiggle room. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.